Hi guys, and welcome back to this Model Engineers Workshop. Today in the workshop, the cylinders are what make the loco move, so let's move on with the cylinders. Hi guys, I'm the chef. So today we're going to move on with the cylinders. We've already got the two blocks of cast iron down to the sizes. You might be able to see the lengths are slightly different because these of course are going to go in the four-jaw and be squared off. So we get the axis of the bore and the face are perpendicular when we get these into the four-jaw. Now, the important dimensions at the moment are from this face that way, 56 millimeters, and then from this face, the frame face outwards on both, it's going to have to be 45. So as you can see, I'm on the surface plate here at the minute. That's a hunking great heavy chunk of cast iron. It's not a bad quality one. This is something like flat to within 7 microns, I think the certificate says, which I've got somewhere put away safe for safekeeping. So I've already got the vernier gauge, height gauge set at 56. And of course, because this is the face that we need to be marking on, just gently roll this over. Hopefully I've got a bit of marking blue in the right place. We should then just be able to go across. Can you see that? Yes, you can. Just there. There it is. So I can do that one, and I can then roll this one down as well, and we can use the height gauge. You could use I've also got a caliper gauge like this that has a carbide tip in it so that you can use that. You could even use a ruler and a square and mark it out with a scriber. It's critical, but it's not. The important thing is that they're roughly the same. I'm sure somebody will disagree with that, but hey, if the drawings tell me to within 0.2 of a millimeter, it can't be that critical. Right, I'm just going to pause it there, guys. I'm going to just reset this to 45, the height vernier to 45. Now, of course, port face down. Let's have a look, just make sure we've got that right. Yes, we do. So I'm going to roll these over now, so you can now see frame sides are now both facing down. There we go. I'm going to turn that around and we'll do a 45 across both of those once I get this set on to 45. It doesn't only take a couple of minutes, so just give me a second and I'll be back. Right, back again. Set on to 45 now on the vernier height gauge, so we just got to go through the marking blue, on there, and one there. Right, let's just move that to the back. Let's bring this one forward. Let's have it rolled over on its end. Oh, right. Right, where's my little ruler gone? I had one here a minute ago. There it is. So, port face is over here. So we should be 56 down, which we are. I don't know, can you actually see that? What can I put under there? Let me just put that little deburring tool under there. Does that give you, yeah, that's better. Move you across. Right, so let me just do that again. And yes, there we go. Line up there nicely. So it's upside down, I know. You're going to focus to my fingernail 56, which was the frame face, this one. Here we go. One at the bottom. And I think, no, you can't. Okay, I'll line that up again, do the same trick. Slide my thumbnail up, get to the line. There we go. Yep. Oh, damn, I moved it. Never mind. 45. 56 from here, 45 from here. Right. Get these center punched and get one of them over into the four-jaw. That's going to be fun. Bloody great hole. Going to take a lot of boring, but these took a lot of cleaning up anyway. All right, guys. Give me a few minutes. I'll be back. Right, now, guys. So just for shits and giggles, wonderful expression. I've already center punched the center of the bore, but I thought I'd mark these up to give you a rough idea on what's actually going to be left of these when we get them down. They're at 5.2 kilos a block now. So you can see here I've marked where the bore's going to go. I don't think you can see it up there. or maybe just as a bit there. You can just make it out. So that's going to be the bore. This is then the shape of the cylinder block itself. So we're going to have the port face up here, of course. So all of this comes off, all this, you can see where I've scratched it, all that corner comes off. This comes off and then that comes across, and that is, this line here is 70 down from the port face. Just provides a bit of clearance. I think it's for the drain cock pipe work down here. So we're just going to go across and we'll round that bit off as well. But of course, when it comes to the rounding off, we'll put this in the vise on the mill. Oh, heavy. And we'll line that up and we'll cut this corner off and go down to that line, and then we'll do increments of maybe 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 degrees, and we'll just keep taking light cuts, taking off all those corners until we get to that position. Then we can mill down to this line to here, and then we'll do the same again coming out across that part of the curve. And of course, just over there, you can see just there, there's the left hand cylinder block. So we'll bore these, and then we'll probably get the ports in as well, because then the block is nice and square, easy to hold. And then towards the last things, once we get the cylinder cover holes in here and all the valve chest holes in as well, then we'll be starting to round these off. So, but I thought it'd be interesting just for you guys to, oh, there we go, have a little look-see. But that is going to be, if I get the light off it, there we go. That's going to be the shape of the cylinder block. So nice and square up here, little chunk missing out here, big chunk off that corner and up to that corner missing, and of course a honking great hole through the middle. Righto guys, I'm going to get one of these into the forge jaw and spin it up, I suppose, and hopefully we're not too far off center and it's not going to rattle the hell out the lathe. All right, get back in a tick guys, give me a second. Righto guys, so here we go. Got the block in the forge jaw. As you can see, I've got the soft jaws in there because 2 of these faces, of course, one's the frame face, one's the port face. We want to keep those completely untarnished. The other 2, of course, are going to be machined off, like I said, just to lighten the block and to give it some shape. I've just spent 20 minutes centering it up. I've got it as close as I can. I've also gone along the length, and that's within a 0.05 of being as true as I can get it anyway, with I can read with my equipment in the workshop. So we're just going to run the center drill up, go through the whole series of drills, which is the largest one I've got is 15 mil. We're then going to change the boring bar, go through with my medium-sized boring bar till we get past 20 mil, and then we'll go to the new boring bar, which you saw in the previous video when we made the new reduction sleeve for it for the tool holder. And then we can finish this out to a bore size of 44.7, something like that. Anyway, I'll need to check those numbers as I get closer. The lathe I've only got running at 180 RPM because that's as fast as it'll go without bouncing around the workshop. It's going to be a bit slow and tedious on the drilling, but as the boring goes along, because the hole is getting bigger, of course, the surface and the rotation remain the same, but you're covering more ground. The surface feel will go up. The surface on the inside of the bore, of course, is critical, but we will be honing that out at a later date with stones and everything, so that you're not very centered here, right? Right, let me center you up. There you go, that's a little better. And we'll get it to a nice finish ready for taking the piston itself. All right, guys, so everything's free, everything's clear. Let's get this going. Here we go. I've never done a bore this size before, never done a cylinder block before, so let's see how this goes. Hopefully, we're in what, 1, 2, we've only got about, if that's 1 length, this is probably 3, so we shouldn't be jumping out the chuck. I've got the jaws down and really quite tight, so we should be good and solid. Here goes. Just going to take my time, clear the chips as we go. I think this will tell everyone why boring is called boring. It is going to be boring. But I'll tidy up when I'm doing the video editing, so you don't have to see this real time. Well, later on anyway. There we go. Nice large centre. Change to the next drill, which is quite a small one. 7mm, 6mm. Right, that's the drilling. There we go, that's the drilling. Let's move that up. Look down the tailstock. Here we go. Brush in hand. Little and often. Yeah. It's pretty slow for drilling as this. That's it, we're past the tip of the centre drill now, so it's going to get smoother, I think. Yeah, that's a lot smoother. Righto guys, you get the idea. I'll bring you back when we do the next drill change. See you in a bit. Right guys, that was the first drill through. Not all the way through, I might have got to about here, about 6 centimetres. This drill's a bit longer, we might get through on this. So this is now 8.5mm. Still running at 180 RPM because, as I say, the lathe will dance all over the shop. I'll get this going, but I'm not going to record it all for you. You know what I'm doing, just slowly in and out, clean the drill, then back in again. Here goes. This, of course, is cutting easier because it's only really cutting on the tips of the flutes at the moment. Right, I think I'll pause it there and I'll bring you back when I'm on to the biggest drill I've got, the 15mm. All right, see you in a few minutes, guys. Right, so got up to 10.5mm, now got the 15 in. We already broken through with the 10.5, so that's it. We can just go all the way through. Going to have to go on this drill about literally down to that line before we know we're through. Could you see that? Yeah, pretty much. Okay, right. Last time with the drill, and then we'll get on to the boring bars. Here we go. This will be a bit rough to start with. This drill tends to dance around. It's quite long. Here we are, guys, we're through. Right. There we go, we're through. Take this drill out, quick clean down, quick vacuum up, get the lathe clean, get set up for boring. All right, guys, back in a tick. Right, so here we go. Boring bar in. I've turned the tool post so I don't have this dovetail sticking out the front here, so I can get further up without interfering with anything. I've tightened the tool post right down really nice and tight. I've tightened the gib up on the compound slide as well, just so that everything's as rigid as I can get it, because this is a lot of stick out for such a small boring bar. Nice and slow. I've got the feed at 6 thousandths of an inch per revolution, 180 revs a minute. It's going to take a good few minutes to get through here, but I've got a little marker for myself so I know where I've got to get to. So I'll start this going, guys, and then I'll pause it and I'll bring you back probably on that when I change the boring bar. All right, guys, see you in a bit. All right, now we're moving. Here goes. There we go, guys, you get the idea. Right, I'll bring you back later. See you in a bit. Righto, guys, so I've just spent some time boring out this hole now. We're up to 36, roughly, at the moment. Don't need to be any closer, any wiser than that at the moment. So, time to swap out the boring bars. Now, this, of course, is a BXA tool post. Anybody who doesn't know how those work, move the handle. Off comes that piece of tooling. Put it back on the shelf where it belongs, on its holder. In comes the new one, the new big boring bar that we made the reduction sleeve for. That I've already set on tool center height. There we are. Quick tool change. Absolutely wonderful, isn't it? Right, so now what I've got to do is I'm going to line you back up here over, guys. That looks about right. Let's zoom you in as well. Let's have a look. Yeah, let's get you about there. Now, of course, the machine's still going to be running at 180. I'm going to have to go in, touch off, and then come back. So go in, touch off on the inside, come back out, put on the cut, and away we go again. So here we go, guys. Everything's free, so here goes. Start winding out till we get a touch. Must be close now. There we go. Let's just reset the dials. And of course, being a new tool, I'm not going to take a very big cut until I know what it sounds like and how it works. I'll just show you the start, guys, then I'll pause and get you back when we get to some really fine measuring. Okay, here goes. Just a very light cut, guys, just to see how this tool cuts. And we'll put the auto feed on. I'll have to get a bit closer, and it'll take forever to get there. Here we go. There we are, we're cutting. That seems to be cutting very nicely. Nice and steady. Nice and smooth, nothing. Alright, guys, I'll pause you there and tell you what. Let's just wind that out. There we go. That little piece I've just cut, leaving a nice finish. Good. Right, I'll pause it there, guys. When I get closer and we start doing some really accurate measuring, I'll bring you back. All right, see you in a bit, guys. Right, guys, so here we are. We've got the bore very close. I think it's about 43.4, but now we're having to bring out the big guns. This, of course, is a bore gauge, and that's a 25 to 50 millimeter micrometer. If you've never used a bore gauge before, you push the two little plunges in and you tighten up on the knurled little clamp at the end. That holds the plunges in. You put it into the bore, release the clamp. It'll go click, click as you hear the plunges popping out. You then need to tighten. You need to tip the handle up slightly and then tighten the clamp. And then as you pull the handle down, as I'm going to do now, there we go, it will self-center and it will then drop out. You need to catch it, of course. Now, of course, those plunges are now set at the ball diameter. So now holding the micrometer very carefully and introducing the gauge in between the two anvils, using just your fingertips to spin the thimble. You line it up and you start to bring the thimble down close. You'll feel the ball gauge getting clamped in place. When you feel that, then it's time to just start playing with the thimble and moving the ball gauge around just until you start to get it to feel about right, which is kind of the feeling it had as it popped out the hole out of the bore. Just a gentle stroke on the thimble will just hold that in, get it right down. There, you just saw me drop out the ball gauge to make life easy. And looking at that now, we have, if it'll focus, we have 43.44, just over 44, between 44 and 45 millimeters of the bore. So we've got literally just a millimeter to go. Right, so I've had the boring bar through again. Again, a lovely finish on the inside of there. I've just done the bore gauge again. Here's the micrometer. So you can see we're at 44.16 and a bit, if that would focus, just about there. So now that gives us what, about 28.28 of a millimeter to go. So I'm going to bring up the boring bar and just sneak up on that slowly, and probably in the next clip when I come back, I'll be showing you the micrometer at the final dimension. So here we go, boring bar coming up. Going to be putting on the cut so that we can sneak up on this nice and slowly. Probably going to only put on about a 0.1 of a cut, which is nice and steady. So here goes, back in a bit. Right guys, so I snuck up on it slowly, a couple of light cuts. Again, here's the micrometer now showing 44.44, which is spot on within the two tolerances of 44.43 to 44.47. So that's perfect. What we're going to have to do now that the bore is complete, we just need to face off that face that's marked up, and that will ensure that the rear cylinder cover, when it goes on, will be in a perpendicular plane to the center line of the bore, which then means that the stuffing gland on the piston rod, which is actually in part of the rear cylinder cover, will be on the axis of the cylinder bore itself, which means that everything will run fine and free. Right, I'll just change the tool out for something that's a bit more suitable facing, and I'll be back. Right guys, so change the tool, got to just measure this block. We need to get it down to 90, a little gap back here at the forejaw. That was set with a 4mm, can you read that? Yes you can, a 4mm parallel when I put it in. So if I hold the same parallel in there at the moment, use the verniers to actually slide on up, just change my hands, here we go. And we can then just push up to that, hold it all down, make sure it's nice and square, it is. Lock the verniers off, I'll pull that out in a second. We are showing almost 92, 91.9, there we go. Right, so we can clean up this face now and just keep an eye on that as we go down. So it's going to be a case of touch off, wind out, put the power feed on, and keep going. I'll show you the first little bit. I'm not going to do a whole cut with you guys, it'll be boring as back shit. So again, make sure everything's free. I don't want to wind that a little bit further back. Everything's clear, there we go. Right, here goes. There's touch off. Find that out. Not taking off a great deal. No. As you can see, there's a few scratch marks in that corner just as I've wound it out. We'll put on a tiny little feed. I don't really want to go too hard on this, it's sticking out quite a long way, and don't want to risk it moving in the jaws. It shouldn't do, it's down tight. So now we'll put this on the per feed, which means it's going to go very slowly. And yep, looks like we're about right to go. Okay, so I'll pause it there, guys. I'll get you back when I get a clean face, and we're at 90 mil. See you in a bit. Righto, guys, getting very close, I think. Must be very close, probably hopefully about 90.1. So we'll just do one more measure. Just loosen that up. There we go. We should be there, I think. Line up the locking screw. Let's have a quick look. We are on, indeed, if you can see that, 90.1. I'll leave it at that. That is close enough for me. Maybe even 1.5. Yep. All right, guys. Leave it at that. Now I'm going to take this out of the chuck. It'll be a few seconds for you. It'll be a few hours for me as I now start on cylinder number 2. All right, guys. Back in a bit. Righto, guys. There we go. So, second one done now. Did the left first, right second. Hobson's choice, I suppose, really. Just picked up one and away we went. Bores are both now done. They've come out nice and smooth. They will still need to be honed. The faces, the rear face of the block, have now been also turned. They are now to the same length, 91.15, which is within tolerance. Yes, I've still got the bores to hone. They are now 44.44, 44.42 and a bit. So by the time I hone this one out, it won't make any real great difference. These started off as 2 raw blocks of cast iron weighing 6.8 kilos each. We then cleaned them up, squared them up, got them down to 5.2. I've just had this one on the scales. Now the bore and the face is done. They are both down now to 4.2. So I've got a honking great bucket full of cast iron chips. So the scrap man's going to like me, and hopefully they'll give me a few pennies back on those as well. Right, just give us a sec, guys, and then we'll bring this video to a close. Righto, guys, that's it. This video is coming to a close. Cylinders started. Loco's starting to get a little bit of momentum to it now. Really nice. Quite happy with that. 4.2 kilos of cast iron now left from 6.8. Ports to go in. Frame holes, steam chest holes to go in the ports. The steam to the chimney, the outlet, whatever. So we're on the way. That's the important thing. Things are moving on nicely. Just let me put this down. It's bloody heavy. Righto, guys. I'll bring this video to a close like I normally do. You can find it in your heart and soul to give me a like, subscribe. Hit that bell for the notifications. If you're a watcher, as I always say, please, please, please try and subscribe. Find it in your heart. Give me a subscribe. It makes it all worthwhile to me. All right, guys. This is a chef saying, see you later.